The Events module is located underneath Operations, Events. By default, you will see a month at a glance view, and that shows the full month as well as all the events on each day. You will also see it's colorized by category. You can also switch to a week view, a day view, and my personal favorite preference is a list view, where by default you can see all upcoming events. And you can also search for an event. So if you're looking for a soccer type of events, if I just do a search for soccer, it does sort it for me as well. If I delete that, it shows me everything again. From here, you can add a new event. We'll just call it example. Hit save. Select the category. Maybe it's aquatics, maybe it's whatever. You can add new categories. You can say if it's an all-day event, or if it's not, give it a certain start time and end time. So we'll say it's a 1-hour event. The start date, by default, it has today's date highlighted, or you can choose a future date. So let's say it's happening tomorrow. You can give it an end date, or by default, if you don't, it'll be the same day as your start date. You can choose if it's a recurring event, and that allows you to have it be daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, as well as, let's do weekly for example. You can also say, is it every Monday or is it every Tuesday and Thursday? You can kind of just check the days of the week that it recurs. You can have it end either never, after a certain number of occurrences, such as 10 times being shown, it'll stop after that, or on a specific date. So if the current month is May and you want to end it in August, you could put in that date and it'll end there. For now though, for these purposes, we'll just say it's a normal event, not recurring. And I can click over to the detail. You'll notice by default up top here, it did save the changes. So all that date and time information did save. Now we're over to the detail of the event. All of these fields above are optional for the event. You can fill out whatever is helpful for the event. If there's a specific location, like this one's located in the gym, if there's a different address, if there's a contact name, maybe you want a contact name or phone number, you could put that in too, as well as an email, as well as additional information. So we'll just say this is the event's description. And as you see, this is a normal editor. So you can add in images, put in links, and anything else you can do on a web page. We'll hit apply for now, and then switch over to the main site. Let's go to events. Tomorrow's has an example. You will see some of that contact information I did fill out in the optional fields makes this top section have that information. So it has the location, has the time and date, as well as the contact info that we filled out. And then below that is the event description. So whatever we would put in there, if we had multiple paragraphs and images, it would fill out the page. Going back to the event and info, let's make it a recurrent event now and say it's still a 1-day event, and we will say it'll happen weekly. On Wednesdays, and it'll stop after 10 occurrences. Hit apply. So what that message said is I have to have a start recurring date, so I can just put in today's date and hit apply. And it was saved. If I go back to events, you will now see the example on Wednesday, and if I keep scrolling down, the following Wednesday there's also the example event now. We can click on that for more information as well, and this one has a date in the future, so the 17th instead of the 9th, or 10th rather. And then if we go further down to the next Wednesday and click on that one, more info, it'll have the 24th. So it does add up, and you're on a specific detail page for that day that you chose. even though it's a recurring event. But all the description will stay the same except for the date, depending on which day you click. By default, after the event is over, if I return to the list, it'll just move off this list of upcoming events. If I click this drop down, I can say show all items, which will show past events and future events, or I could specifically say show past events only. All will also allow you to search as well for any event. So if you wanted anything, past or future, you can search it that way as well to find it. There are a few advanced options with events, such as in the Setup tab. You can set up a list of locations or contacts. So let's say, Sue maybe is one of our main contacts. We can add her as well as like a phone number or email. And location, we will say the pool is a common location and save that. Now while editing or adding an event, and actually I'll go back to upcoming and edit my example one. On the detail, you'll now see these two arrows appear. So I can use pool as the default one and grade out everything else out based on the settings though that were set up in the Setup tab. So assuming you had the address, the city, state, zip, all that up in this pool setup area of location, it would have filled all that out for me. And then same with if I choose the contact name of Sue, it'll put in her phone number and email according to that setup field. So this is helpful for future events and any event where you kind of already have a collection of locations or people that are commonly used. On the site, you have the option to also have a month at a glance view, and this shows the user, just kind of like the full month and the dates. So here's once again example starts on the 10th, 17th, 24th, 31st, etc. If I go to the next month, you'll keep seeing examples, and finally the last month, it'll eventually drop off after that 10th occurrence. This wraps up the events module.